Let me show you how to create a loaded frame with... What is a composition and why does it matter? Well, if you want your community to be curious and engaged in your project, often posting sneak peeks is the way to go. Here's a quick checklist to make sure that your teaser is impossible to ignore. In just a bit, I'll give an in-depth explanation on why they matter and how you can use them. Hi, I'm in an office. I'm also 2D, but actually none of that matters. The only thing that matters is that you understand this concept of composition while I go and prepare for the next part. Oh, hey, quick 10-second break. First of all, I'd like to thank you for your support on my latest video. I poured weeks into this one, so I've decided to release a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the studio. Currently, there's just one tier, but the benefits are massive. They're currently listed on the screen. I also released a brand new, shiny and cool Discord server that I'd be more than glad to see you in. The link is in the description below. And lastly, I'd like to thank you once again for all the support. Okay, back to the video. Yo, now that you understand what a composition is, we can move on to our examples. Starting off with a sneak peek I made for Noisy Neighbor. My goal here was to hint at what the environment could be without giving everything away. I achieved that by using the train tracks and the ceiling lamp as anchors. An anchor is simply the element you want viewers to land on first. Then, I use the rails of the train tracks and the light beam as leading lines towards the center. Leading lines are edges or light beams that funnel attention towards the main focal point. The result, the viewer's eyes pulled into frame, follows the leading line, lands on the main point, and immediately knows this matters. Now I have a question for you. Can you tell what serves as an anchor in this sneak peek? In just 3 seconds, I'll reveal exactly what it is. The anchor in this image would be the upper window of the barn. Let me know in the comments if you got it right. If you did, you're on your way to make killer sneak peeks. In this trait, we reward curiosity by building layers. A layer is any visual plane that a viewer can scan through. We designed those layers so the frame can move from a tease to hint to reveal. I'll explain all of the possible reveal levels once we're finished with the trait breakdowns. Allow me to introduce to you my teaser analysis framework. You can apply it to any composition to verify its quality. The first layer is everything closest to the viewer, the elements they notice instantly. In this example, the cluttered desk fills that role. It pulls the viewer in and invites them to look more closely. As they scan this layer, they naturally spot the manager's plaque, which quietly establishes who this space belongs to. The second layer sits just behind the foreground and often acts as a partial obstruction for the final reveal. Here, that layer is the manager himself because the plaque already introduced his role. The viewer now connects the character to the environment. This layer builds context and reinforces the narrative without giving away the payoff yet. Now, the third layer is where the viewer feels rewarded for scanning deeper. This is where the point of interest lives, in this case, the key hidden just behind the desk. Because the viewer already understands who the manager is and what this space represents, finding the key immediately sparks curiosity. It feels intentional, story-driven, and adds narrative weight to the composition. Here are a couple of rules to keep in mind whenever you're composing to make sure that your sneak peek rewards curiosity. Rule number 1. One payoff per image. Don't scatter multiple keys or the reward dilutes. Rule number 2. Make the payoff slightly lower contrast than the midground so it's discoverable, not obvious. Rule number 3. Use leading lines or occlusion to funnel the scan path towards the payoff. Rule number 4. Test at phone size. If the payoff disappears, increase the local contrast or add a tiny rim light. Intentional framing is about using architectural shapes and openings to highlight what matters. It helps the viewer understand which part of the scene is important. We do this by placing our subject inside a visual container. This creates a natural stage and separates the subject from the rest of the composition. In this example, the character is framed by a doorway. They're making eye contact with the viewer, but the doorway also signals that they're trapped. stuck inside a locked room waiting to be released. That framing adds emotional weight and narrative tension, and here's how you can also achieve it. First, choose a frame entrance, something that feels like a threshold. A door frame, hallway, shadow, or spotlight. Place your subject slightly off-center inside of that stage. This makes the shot feel deliberate. Then, use negative space, the empty area around your subject, to isolate them and guide attention. The environment adds context, and the composition quietly sets the stage for the story to unfold. A narrative trope gives your world a path. It's the emotional spine that turns isolated images into a coherent story. Creating a narrative trope is quite easy. Here's a quick, exemplary path for you to use in your narrative. First, give it emotional context. Do this by deciding what do you want the players to feel. Is it curiosity, dread, urgency, or hope? 2. Choose the viewer's perspective. You want them to explore, fear, or investigate. Design clues that follow the story based on your desired perspective. 3. Choose the reveal level. Here's how you can label the reveal level based on your needs. First off, we have a tease, which is very subtle, only visible to attentive viewers. Hint, noticeable if you scan or inspect. Reveal, clearly visible but framed with intent, surrounded by mystery. Rotate these levels across your posts to keep your feed varied and engaging. This builds rhythm and gives your audience something to decode, speculate on, and anticipate. 4. Create a strong composition. Apply most of the before-mentioned composition traits to make it effective. Structure your sneak peek in a way that's intriguing, fun, and engaging. A good hint should raise a question the player wants answered. When all of these elements work together, the image does more than just look pretty. It asks questions and rewards viewers who look closely. That's it. If this video does well, I'll post a part 2. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe. And most importantly, never give up what you're passionate about.
Psst. Hey, where's Devlog part 2? Devlog part 2. Where's Devlog part 2? Where's Devlog?